Join me right now on Kumite TV is one of the best featherweights in the world, Josh Emmett. What's going on, Josh?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me on.
No doubt, no doubt. Let's get right into it. You know, your last appearance was 13 months ago, UFC on Fox 28. You took on Jeremy Stephens. You suffered some injuries, due to that fight. Was it a personal decision to take so much time off, or did you take advice from others? Because I know you wanted to get right back in, probably.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like a personal choice and just, recommended by some of the doctors and therapists that I was seeing. Just because, like I've said before, I've seen this with like teammates, coaches, and just in the sport that people have bad concussion, they come back too soon, get another one, and then it's like career ending. I didn't want that to happen to me because I feel like I'm just, kind of getting started and I have a long career ahead of me. So I just took the necessary time off so I could heal up right, get back in practice. Actually, I've been in practice, like drilling and doing a lot of things for quite some time. But then I started going 100% in practice and felt good. So then I was like, okay, it's ready to get a fight.
Wonderful. What were some of the struggles you went through the past year?
Man, I'd say the main struggle was just a little bit financially, just because I only fought one time in 2018 and in the beginning of February, so I only got paid once, and since I lost, I only got half a paycheck. And then just like healing from all the injuries. I had several fractures on my face. I was experiencing really bad vertigo. Just it was tough, man. It was through like my career, I'd say it was probably definitely one of the lows that I've ever had. And I just had to stay positive. I had my support system around me still. My wife is the biggest supporter and does so much for me. So she was right by my side. And just like my core group of friends and my mom, of course, they were right there next to me, just, lending a hand, anything I needed. They were all there, and it's the same group of people that have been there since the beginning. They're still there for me. So it was a year where I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about other people. But I'm ready to get back in there and get back to where I was at.
Yeah, it must be so beneficial to have that support system, because a lot of guys in this sport don't have that support system. They don't have a family that supports their career. They don't have friends that stick around the whole time. Some of them jump ship real quick, right?
Yep. Yeah, no, of course. And it's and I'm lucky that I have a huge support system, like not only just the people I was talking about, but I know several doctors and therapists, and they're the ones that kind of led me in the right direction. Like they were asking, are you doing this? Are you experiencing this? I'm like, no and yes. And they're like, you need to go see this, come do this. And it just got me thinking a lot about other fighters. I'm lucky enough and fortunate that I know these people and they're my friends. Otherwise I'd be kind of screwed. And I know there's fighters out there that don't have those relationships that I have. And so if this were to happen to someone else, and say they're on the lower end or whatnot, even in my shoes, at one point I was ranked fourth in the world, and I didn't get anything. The UFC didn't, contact me, ask how I was feeling, ask how I'm doing, or say, hey, let's fly you out to see this person. But I had my friends doing it, so I'm fortunate enough to do that. I think there needs to be, I don't know, maybe a little bit more accessibility for us fighters, for not only just when you get like broken things or torn things, like even what I went through, like traumatic brain injury.
It looks like you built a lot more mental toughness throughout this past year, it seems.
Yeah, it's I've always felt like that's one of my strong attributes, that I'm like so mentally tough, and a lot of people will tell you that know me. There's no one that'll like break me mentally. But just everything I went through, and just sitting on the sideline and just like watching from afar, man. And I just, I just, yeah, definitely got not more numb to things, but just and I wouldn't say angry, maybe a little angry about certain things, but yeah, definitely just keeps like just throwing fuel on the fire, and it motivates me more, it drives me more, and now I really just was able to sit back and just know what I need to do, and it gives me more of a purpose, you know. And even with the loss, it's kind of, I'm not glad all the things that happened to me, of course. They're pretty bad injuries, but it kind of, you know, maybe I needed that loss, you know, because I felt like before that, I never took damage in a fight. I felt like even though I had one loss on my record before that last fight, I felt like I won that fight. I felt like I got hometowned in that, but this, I just got to sit back and think. I was always going on to the next fight. I was always thinking ahead, thinking past my opponent, but now I'm just 100% focused on the person in front of me, nothing else, and I'm just going to do whatever I can to, you know, overcome that obstacle to get my hand raised on March 30th.
Definitely. You know, with the limited contact, did you work on other parts of your game, you know, film studying, you know, strength and conditioning, maybe some mind coaching, you know, which is big nowadays for fighters?
Yeah, well, I've actually always worked with a mind coach for years, and so you know, I haven't really done that recently, but you know, I have a lot of strategies and just tools that I use, and then as far as strength and conditioning, I got back to lifting heavy. When I dropped down to featherweight, I was doing a lot more endurance stuff, and I felt good, but I didn't have that like explosiveness that I used to have in strength. And so I really dialed into my strength and conditioning, and I feel super explosive again, feel really strong and fast. And then I was just working on a lot of just different parts of the game. Like, I've been going down to Dublin. It's in the Bay Area. It's like a 2-hour drive for me. I was doing that on Tuesday and Thursday and working with Coach Hyon. He's a Muay Thai coach, and they have some of the best Muay Thai and kickboxers around, tons of world champions. So I've been going down there for, man, I think I started in maybe August. August or so, for quite some time, going down there twice a week, getting different looks and just trying to really, you know, put more tools in my arsenal, you know. So I feel like I have a lot more weapons now, and I'm excited to go out there and showcase that.
Yeah, it seems like Team Alpha Male has built a good relationship with Coach Hyon. I think he's the head coach of CSA, right?
Yep, yeah, he's the head coach and one of the owners, and yeah. So if you know of him or heard of him, he's a great coach, and just like all the other coaches we have, and just the look that we get from some of those guys. There's this guy Eddie Solo, Gaston Blanos. Those guys are just it's crazy look, you know, especially because that's their world. So I'm trying to go in there and just see like all the kicks, knees, elbows, and just how crafty they are. And I feel like it's got me so much better. Just like when I was, you know, I'm a wrestler. I started wrestling when I was little, all the way through college, and I love boxing. You know, I fell in love with boxing. That's still probably one of my favorite parts of martial arts. And my coach Joey, he would take me into all these pro boxing gyms early in my career. This is before I was in the UFC, just when we were fighting on the regional scene. And I would spar these pro boxers, and it's a complete different look. You know what I mean? The MMA is like 1, 2, maybe 3 punches, but these guys are just punches and bunches, just throwing nonstop. And I feel like that's what got my boxing so sharp, and I felt comfortable just staying in the pocket, seeing punches, blocking punches, and throwing them right back. And now doing the same thing with Muay Thai, it's I'm getting, you know, all that as well. And it's just evolving my game. And of course, I've been doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, and I'm back to wrestling. And that's the thing a lot of people don't know either. I've been hurt the whole time I've been in the UFC. My only fight, I was 100% healthy, doing everything, was the first fight. It was the John Tuck fight, and I got that on a 4-day notice. Other than that, I've been running on a treadmill, hitting mitts, and just sparring. Like, I got away from everything else because I always had something going on with me. And now I'm back to everything, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and all of this. So that's why I feel like I've been fighting at like 50, 60% of my capabilities, the whole time in the UFC except the first fight.
Well, you got me excited to see what you got in store, on this next fight, man. You go from Big Fox to Big ESPN, Michael Johnson in Philadelphia. He's won 2 out of 3 as a featherweight. Have you been impressed by his performances?
Yeah, no, I think Michael Johnson's a tough guy, man. I know he's a tough guy. Like you can't deny him. He has nothing to prove. He's beat the who's who at 55s, fought some of the best at 55s, and then yes, he's a threat everywhere. I feel like I have to be cautious that any moment he can end the fight and I can end the fight as well. So I just have to stick to my game plan and go in there and just impose my will and just do what I do best, and I'm confident that I'll come out victorious. But yeah, he's definitely he's dangerous, man. He has the experience. I think in the lightweight division, he's beat the top. He beat Ferguson, Poirier, and Barboza. And those guys are all in the top 5, top 3. You know what I mean? So it's he doesn't have to prove anything. I have to go out there and prove to everyone that I belong there. That's always my mindset. I feel like I have to go out there and just outclass them.
Johnson, he has fought 2 of your teammates at featherweight. Has that been helpful for you in preparation?
Yeah, it's I feel like anytime a teammate or a coach has fought another guy, they can give me a little bit of insight, but I really don't know until I get in there. It's as soon as we get in there and I kind of like feel his power and see the speed and stuff like that, then I kind of know. Even once we, if we get into a clinch or something, and I can see like, okay, how strong is this guy? That's kind of like because I've had several people. Like even Andre's fought a handful of guys that I fought on the regional scene, so he'd always give me that insight. When I fought Lamas, Chad, Danny had fought him too, and so they were giving me some insight. But it's sometimes it like boosts your confidence. Like they're like, oh, you're gonna do so well, or this and that, but he's good at this, and I'm like, okay, I kind of take it with a grain of salt, but I'll know once I get in there, And I've seen all his fights. I know what he does, and he's good at what he does. And so just going back to what I keep saying, I just have to stick to my game plan and not rush anything and just be ready for a 15-minute war.
You said that you're taking your career, like one fight at a time. You're not looking too much into the future. Moving forward, do you feel that you have to be more strategic in when and who you fight?
Yeah, I maybe it's hard for me because I've never said no to a fight. Every time they call me, I take it. I take the fight. They say, hey, this guy needs a fight. I'm like, let's do it. With this, they actually gave me a few guys. Initially I was gonna I accepted a guy that was in front of me just because I want to fight people that are higher ranked or bigger names. And then unfortunately something happened. He got injured. That didn't go as according to plan. They gave me some guys that were good up and comers, but it does nothing for me because they're behind me. And Michael Johnson was in that same talk, and I was just like, yeah, I think he's the toughest fight and he's the biggest name, and so I think it does great things for my career with a big win over such a seasoned vet.
Now, the division, while you've been away, has been moving sideways, upwards, downwards. It's chaos right now, right? And then Max recently was announced to take on Dustin Poirier for the interim lightweight title. Many feel that this will clog the division, but personally, I feel that it gives opportunities for fighters like you to move closer to the title. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And with Max moving up to 55 for the interim, that's a huge opportunity for him. Like you can't hate him for that. You know what I mean? Like if I was in the same position, of course I take it. It's going to be a lot of money for him. It's a win-win. He wins that belt. He gets to unify with Khabib. That's going to make even more money. Say he were to lose the fight, it doesn't matter. He's a featherweight. You know what I mean? He still keeps his title. He'll come back down, make more money. And I think what the division right now is kind of held up because Aldo's the true number one contender. They fought twice. It's went Holloway's way both of those times. I don't think they want to make a third fight between those guys. But now with Volkanovski, in the picture, if he were to win against Aldo, then I think he's the number one contender to fight Holloway, and that'll be, kind of new blood in the division and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, I don't think it holds up the division at all. Max has kind of beat everyone in the top, and yeah, I'm sure he'll come back down, but I don't think it affects the division at all.
Who wins that fight?
I don't know, man. I think when Poirier and Holloway fought the first time, that was Holloway's first fight, right?
Mm-hmm. I think
and,
so. Yeah.
He's grown so much as a martial artist, and he's definitely filled out. Poirier is a great fighter too. He's developed so much. So it is it's definitely a fight I'm excited about to watch as a fan. But man, I don't know. I could see it going either way, but I feel like I don't know. I could see either one of the guys. I can make an argument why Max will win. I can make an argument why Poirier will win. But it's definitely a fight I'm looking forward to.
Recently, Justin Buchholz, a former coach for Team Alpha Male, a guy that's been around for a long time. He did an interview. He was very critical of the coaches at Team Alpha Male and of Uriah Faber. I just wanted to get your thoughts on his comments, and what is your current relationship with him?
Yeah, no, I haven't listened to any of the interviews, but it's now that everyone keeps asking about this, it's I don't know. I don't know the full story of what's going on with him, so I really don't comment on anything like that. But it's like Justin's a great coach. The morale in our gym is great. The energy's high. We have great coaching staff. I wish everyone well, but I don't know the full story, so I really have no reason to speak on it.
All right. Well, one last thing before I let you go. What is on your playlist? What do you like listening to when you're training, when you're getting ready to fight? You're in the back. You got the headphones on. What are you playing?
Oh, man, a lot of like 90s hip hop. I like a lot of reggae. Revolution is one of my favorite reggae bands, and I walk out to Sky's the Limit by them. But yeah, it just hypes me up. And a lot of times during training camp, when I'm at the gym, when I'm running, doing a lot of cardio stuff, I just listen to my playlist, and it's kind of like I'll get a few songs, like whatever I'm really feeling that'll make me push harder and run. Then it's like I'll create a new little playlist for fight week, and we just listen to that every time we're in the room rolling around or hitting mitts and getting ready.
90s hip hop. Who are some of the artists?
Well, like Selly Cell. I listen to like E40, and I listen to a lot of like Biggie and Tupac and stuff like that. Some Sacramento rappers. So it's a good playlist. I don't have too much. I need to download some newer stuff, but it's definitely a good playlist.
Hey, I love Selly Cell E40. I grew up on Selly Cell E40. And Brother Lynch, you listen to Brother Lynch?
Yeah, and that's one of the Brother Lynch. And I actually had when I fought in Sacramento, because he's from Sacramento, so I had this, one of my friends make me this little mix, and it was like Brother Lynch, I Refuse to Lose, mixed with some Revolution, and then it was like who was that? I think it was Dr. Dre when he was like singing Sacramento, Where Are You At? It was a dope remix, and so that was definitely one for the agents. Got to come out to Sacramento in the new arena had to put some of that stuff in there. X-rated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Awesome, man. I love it. Because, I talk to a lot of guys from all over the world, and everybody listens to different things. And sometimes you get surprised by certain fighters, and they're like, oh, you listen to that? I didn't even, you get introduced to new things all the time, new music. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
March 30th, UFC on ESPN2. Michael Johnson, Philadelphia. You make your return. Thank you for your time, Josh, and good luck to you, sir.
Well, I appreciate it. You have a good one. Thanks for having me on.